I never thought I'd torch my own family on live stream, but when my parents texted, "We're not coming, too busy rebuilding our lives without your drama," right before my housewarming, I hit record and invited the one man who'd already buried them once, their golden boy accomplice. The prosecutor who'd cut a deal with them and left me holding the bag for their Ponzi scheme. That night, as the camera rolled from my $4 million Tribeca Lofts hidden mount, I watched their empire of lies crumble in real time, guests gasping, champagne spilling like blood money, because revenge isn't about fists, it's about forcing the guilty to applaud their own funeral. And when the feds knocked an hour later, cuffs ready for the encore, I smiled into the lens and whispered, "Welcome home, Mom and Dad. This party's just getting started." The doorman buzzed me up that crisp October afternoon like I was just another Upper East Side trust fund kid. But as the elevator hummed toward the penthouse, I gripped the velvet box in my pocket tighter, the one holding the diamond earrings I'd bought with my first clean million. Not for show, those were for her, the ghost who'd birthed me and then sold me out for a plea bargain. Kinsley Harper. That's me, 32 and finally free, staring down the barrel of a fresh start in a city that chews up second chances like yesterday's bagels. New York hadn't changed much since I'd last seen it from the back of a squad car 8 years ago. The skyline still stabbed the sky like accusations, and the air smelled of hot pretzels and diesel dreams. I'd clawed my way back from that hellhole upstate women's prison, Leavenworth's little sister, where the guards called you sweetheart while slamming cell doors. A finance degree I'd earned behind bars, paroled into a gig at a boutique hedge fund run by a bleeding heart alum who'd seen my mugshot and thought, reformed felon? Box office gold. Now, here I was, closing on a $4 million loft in Tribeca. All exposed brick and Eames chairs. The kind of place that screamed, "I've arrived," louder than a subway preacher. The real estate agent, a Botoxed blonde named Trish with a laugh like shattering glass, handed me the keys with a wink. "Honey, this is your empire now. Invite the world." I smiled, but inside, the old rage simmered. The world? Hell. I'd start with family. Or what was left of it. My parents, Richard and Elaine Harper, had built their fortune on smoke and mirrors, a Ponzi scheme disguised as innovative real estate investments that suckered in half of Greenwich's blue bloods. Dad was the charm. All Ivy League drawl and Rolex gleam. Mom the steel spine. Crunching numbers in Louboutins. When the feds came calling in 2017, they didn't just flip the script, they rewrote it with me as the villain. "Our daughter handled the books," Dad testified, his voice cracking just enough for the jury's sympathy. "She's always been impulsive." Impulsive? I'd been 24. Fresh out of Wharton. Interning for them out of loyalty. Forging signatures on their say-so because family sticks together. Kinsley. They cut a deal. 5 years probation each. Community service. And a slap-on-the-wrist fine they paid with laundered cash. Me? 15 years. Eligible for parole after 8. Because I was the mastermind who'd lured their marks. The betrayal hit like a gut punch in the courtroom. Mom avoiding my eyes. Dad mouthing, "I'm sorry, that wasn't sorry at all." But the secret they buried deeper? The real trigger. Dad's affair with our neighbor's wife. A scandal that could have tanked their facade. To cover it, they'd framed a rival developer, planting evidence that led back to me when the dust settled. I'd taken the fall not just for the money, but to shield their perfect marriage from tabloid vultures. Noble. Right? Stupid. Parole came last spring, and I'd ghosted them hard. No calls. No Hallmark cards from the clink. But success whispers. And suddenly their emails flooded in. So proud of you. Pumpkin. Let's heal as a family. Bullshit. They smell the money. The loft. The redemption arc they could Instagram for clout. I played along. Just enough to dangle the invite. The housewarming was set for Saturday, black tie casual. Caterers from Per Se. A string quartet poached from the Met. I'd RSVP'd them personally. Over Rose at Le Bernardin, where Dad had once closed his biggest deal. It's time we celebrated together, I'd said, watching Mom's eyes light up at the address. Tribeca. 4 million. The kind of number that buys forgiveness. Their text came Friday night. As I paced the empty loft. Fairy lights twinkling like false hopes. Kinsley. Darling, Richard's got a board meeting in Aspen. And I've got the gala committee. Rain check. Love you both. Wait. Love you. Exo mom. Both. Typo. Or slip of the tongue. Didn't matter. It was the nail in the coffin of whatever olive branch I'd half believed in. I sank onto the leather sectional. The city lights mocking me through the windows. And that's when the idea hit, sharp as a stiletto. Not tears. Not rage posting on LinkedIn. No. Something surgical. American as apple pie and pitchforks. Public humiliation. Served with canapes. I pulled up my contacts. Scrolled past the hedge fund bros and the yoga mom influencers I'd curated for the guest list. And landed on him. Victor Hale. The prosecutor who'd orchestrated my parents' sweetheart deal. The man who'd whispered in my ear during plea negotiations. Cooperate? And maybe you'll see daylight before 40. I'd spat in his face, metaphorically, refusing to rat on family. Even traitors. Victor was a climber now. Assistant DA turned private counsel for white-collar crooks. His name splashed in cranes for ethical pivots. Ethical? He'd buried evidence of my parents' affair cover-up to secure his conviction rate, then leveraged it for his own promotion. But here's the twist. He'd always had a soft spot for me. Late-night visits in county lockup. Smuggling in contraband novels. That one time he accidentally left his card with a number that wasn't official. Flirtation? Leverage? Who knew? But he'd texted last month. Post-parole. Heard you're killing it. Drinks. I'd ignored it. Now? Payback's a bitch, named invitation. My thumbs flew. Victor, housewarming tomorrow. 8 p.m. Tribeca loft. Come alone. Secrets to share. K, he replied in seconds. Wouldn't miss it. Black tie. I smirked, typing back, where your prosecutor's pin. It'll match the champagne. Saturday dawned gray. The kind of New York autumn that seeps into your bones. Caterers swarmed the loft like ants on a picnic. Oyster towers. Truffle arancini. A bartender mixing Manhattans with the precision of a bomb tech. I slipped into a crimson sheath dress. The fabric hugging like a second skin. And pinned Mom's earrings to my lobe. Not for luck, for irony. Guests trickled in by 7. My boss. A silver fox quant with a laugh that boomed like thunder. A couple of girlfriends from the fund. All sharp bobs and sharper wit. Even a reporter from the Post I'd tipped off about. A felon's triumphant return. No parents. Of course. But Victor arrived fashionably late. 8:15 sharp. In a tux that screamed old money. His salt and pepper hair slicked back. Eyes scanning the room like he owned it. Kinsley, he drawled. Air kissing my cheek. Close enough I caught his cologne, sandalwood, and sin. This place? You're a force. His gaze lingered. Appreciative. Hungry maybe. I led him to the bar, handed him a flute, and clinked. to new beginnings and old scores. The quartet struck up something sultry, Ella Fitzgerald reimagined for strings, and the party hummed. Laughter echoed off the herringbone floors. Flashbulbs popped from iPhones, capturing the skyline view. I played hostess flawless. But my mind was a wire, the hidden camera in the sconce above the mantel, streaming live to a private Insta account I'd anonymized as at Tribeca Titan. 10 viewers at first, curious colleagues I'd looped in subtly. Then 20. The hook was baited. Around 9. As Victor cornered me by the grand piano, a Steinway-eyed impulse spot for the drama, I felt the buzz in my pocket. Mom's text, watching your stories, gorgeous.
Sweetie,
Wish we could be there. Stories? I'd posted teasers. The loft's glow without tagging family. She was lurking.
perfect.
Victor, I said, voice low, fingers tracing the piano keys like a confession. Remember that deal? The one where you let my parents walk because they had dirt on you? His smile faltered. Just a twitch. Around us, guests whirled, oblivious. The stream hit 50 viewers. He leaned in, breath warm. Ancient history. Kins. Why dredge it? Because I purred, pulling out my phone, thumb hovering over a file I'd unearthed last month, emails from a PI, proof of his buried evidence, the affair cover-up he'd greenlit to pad his stats. Tonight's not about history. It's about the sequel. I hit play on a low volume. Just for him, grainy audio of Dad's deposition, admitting the frame job on the rival. My name dropped like a dud grenade. Victor's face drained, champagne pallor. Kinsley? What the hell? The doorbell chimed, cutting him off. Not the caterers. They'd cleared out. I excused myself, heart pounding like a bass drop, and opened the door too. Nothing. Just a delivery box. Unmarked. Heavy. Inside, a bottle of '09 Chateau Margaux, the vintage from Dad's biggest deal night, and a note in Mom's looping script. Pour one for us. Family forever. I laughed, bitter as quinine, and carried it back to the piano. Victor was gone, vanished into the crowd. The stream? 100 viewers now. Comments flickering. Who's the suit? This view, though. Time to escalate. Ladies and gentlemen, I announced, climbing onto the piano bench like it was a soapbox. Flute raised. The room hushed. Phones out. To my home bought with sweat, not schemes. And to absent friends, who taught me the cost of loyalty. Murmurs rippled. The reporter's eyes narrowed, scenting blood. I uncorked the Margaux with a pop that echoed like a gunshot, poured a splash into the sink, visible on stream, and raised the bottle. To Richard and Elaine Harper, may your toasts always taste of regret.
Gasps.
A few claps. Awkward. Then Victor's voice from the shadows. Kinsley, stop this. He stepped forward, face a mask of calculation. You're better than them. Better? I echoed, jumping down, bottle in hand. The stream surged 200. You made me better, Victor. By screwing me over. He froze, the room a pressure cooker. That's when I saw it, the notification.
Mom.
Commenting anonymously on the live. Stop this.
Kinsley.
You're embarrassing us all.
Us.
There it was, the royal we of betrayal. I tilted the bottle, let a rivulet spill onto the rug, staining it like old wounds. Embarrassing? Try enlightened. The quartet faltered to silence. Guests shifted. phones capturing every frame. Victor grabbed my arm, gentle, but firm. Private word.
Now.
I wrenched free, voice rising for the mic'd room. The stream. The world. Private? Like the deal you cut? The one where you let them pin their sins on me to hide Dad's side piece and your own ladder climb. The room exploded, whispers to shouts. The reporter bolted for the balcony, dialing her editor. Victor's eyes darted. Prosecutor's instinct kicking in, damage control. Kinsley, you're drunk on this. Walk it back.
Drunk?
Sober as a judge. But the hook was set, now real. I pulled the velvet box from my clutch, snapped it open, the earrings glinting like fool's gold. These were for Mom. For healing. But healing's a lie when the wound's self-inflicted. I hurled them at the wall. They shattered like my parole dreams. Stream at 500. Comments a frenzy. Spill the tea. Is this real? Mom's anon. Lies. She's unstable. Unstable. The word that had kept me locked up. Rage crested, and I grabbed my phone, dialing on speaker. Dad's number, voicemail be damned. It rang. Then clicked. Kinsley? What's? Dad. I said. Voice steel over silk. Broadcasting to all. Miss me? Or just the loft? Silence. Then Mom's hiss in the background. Hang up. Richard. Too late. The line held. Their breaths ragged. Guests leaned in. A human amphitheater. Victor tried to snatch the phone. I dodged. Bottle raised like a scepter. Here's the thing, I continued, eyes on the camera at it. You refused to come. So I invited someone better. Someone who knows your secrets. I nodded at Victor, who looked ready to bolt. Say hi, counselor. Kinsley. Don't, he started, but I cut him with a laugh. Tell them.
Vic.
About the evidence you buried. The affair you covered to get your bump. The line erupted. Mom's sob? Dad's curse? Hard to tell. The stream hit 1,000. Notifications pinging like fireworks. That's when the real twist whispered in my ear, a text from an unknown number. Watching. Proud of you.
Kid.
Your PI. My PI? The one I'd hired post-parole, who dug up the dirt but vanished after delivery. Coincidence? Or chess? Victor lunged then. Not for the phone, for me. Enough. His hand clamped my wrist. Bottle tipping. Wine splashing his shirt like accusation ink. The room gasped. A woman shrieked. On stream. It looked bad. Assault in 4K. Get off her, my boss bellowed, charging forward. Chaos bloomed. Guests pulling Victor back. Phones whirring. The quartet fleeing to the kitchen. I twisted free, heart thundering, and faced the lens.
See?
Loyalty's a two-way street. And you all drove the wrong way. The call dropped. Mom's final anon comment. You'll regret this. Regret? Baby steps. The aftermath hit like a nor'easter, sirens in the distance by 10. Blue lights flickering off the loft's glass like strobe regrets. NYPD showed up in twos. Badges gleaming under the chandeliers. The party's glitter turning to grit under their boots. Ma'am. We got a call about a disturbance, the lead cop said. A burly guy named O'Malley with a mustache that screamed Mets fan. His eyes flicked to the wine stain on the rug, the shattered earrings crunching underfoot, then to Victor, who stood ramrod by the bar, dabbing his shirt with a linen napkin like it was a deposition stain. Disturbance. I echoed. channeling that Wharton poise. The kind that turns interrogations into interviews. Officer. This is a housewarming. Just high spirits and higher drama. The stream was still rolling, 2,000 viewers now. Hearts and flames emoji raining like confetti. I'd muted the comments. But the damage? Deliciously done. O'Malley wasn't buying the charm. Sir here says assault. And we've got reports of Family Matters going public. He glanced at the reporter, who was live tweeting from the couch. Her thumbs a blur, Tribeca takedown trending already. I could feel it. Victor stepped forward. All polished recovery. No assault. Officer. Misunderstanding. MS. Harper and I go way back. Old case. Way back. Try backstabbing. But he shot me a look, pleading. Almost human. Kinsley. Call it. For both our sakes. For his sake. Maybe. Mine? This was the overture. The cops milled, taking statements from wide-eyed guests, my boss vouching for me as the most level-headed analyst I've got, girlfriends whispering about toxic exes to explain Victor. The quartet slunk back and playing something neutral, like elevator music for the apocalypse. By 11, the badges cleared out with warnings and no charges. NYPD's got bigger fish than wine tossers, but the energy lingered. Electric and uneasy. Half the crowd bailed, murmuring excuses about early meetings, but the diehards stayed, the reporter angling for an exclusive. A hedge fund rival I'd invited to gloat over. And Victor, nursing a scotch, eyes like storm clouds. I cornered him in the powder room, the marble vanity cool under my palms. You gonna run to your connections? Quash the stream before it hits the post. He set his glass down. Slow, like defusing a bomb. Kinsley, this isn't you. The girl I met in lockup, she fought smart, not sloppy. His voice dropped. That old intimacy creeping in. What do you want? Really? What did I want? Their heads on pikes. Metaphorically. But aloud. I want the truth out. The deal you cut. The secrets they buried. You owe me that much. He laughed. Hollow. Oh, you? I got you paroled early, pulled strings. Strings?
Try puppetry.
And that soft spot? Don't flatter yourself. It was pity.
Pity.
The words stung like a lemon on a cut. Pity got you that corner office? Burying how Dad framed the developer me. To cover his affair? Mom's complicity in the books. Victor's jaw tightened, the mask slipping. You think you're the only one they screwed? Your folks. They promised me a cut of the cleanup fund. Then ghosted. I'm as burned as you. Burned? Try broiled. But it cracked something, a fissure in my rage. Was he playing me again? Or was this the flip? Antagonist turning ally? I studied him. The lines around his eyes deeper than I remembered. The prosecutor's polish frayed. Fine, I said, unlocking the door. Then help me finish it. Tomorrow. Their Aspen meeting? It's bullshit. Track. He hesitated, then nodded once.
Sharp.
For old times. But if this blows back. He trailed off, hand brushing mine as he passed. Electricity. Or warning. The party limped on till midnight. Stragglers dancing to forced jazz. But I excused myself to the master suite, collapsing onto the king bed with its fret sheets that cost more than a month's parole rent. The stream? I'd killed it at 1,100 views. Archiving for leverage. Phone buzzed nonstop. Texts from unknowns, slay. Queen. Mom's voicemails escalating from weepy to wrathful. How could you? After everything? Everything?
Try nothing.
Sleep came fitful. Dreams of courtrooms morphing into lofts. Dad's gavel a champagne cork. Woke to Sunday brunch light slanting through blinds. The city below nursing its hangover. Coffee brewed. Bloskas my muet. And I scrolled the fallout. Harper Heist trending. Post article dropping quotes from anonymous sources about the Ponzi revival whispers. My PI texted back. Good show. They're scrambling. Private jet to Vale. Not Aspen. Coordinates incoming. Victor called at 10. Voice gravel from lack of sleep. Tracked him. Vale Chalet. The one they lost in the forfeiture but bought back under Mom's maiden name. Flying out noon. Noon. I confirmed. Already packing a go bag, jeans, boots. That crimson dress folded like a flag of truce. Or surrender. The hedge fund was closed Mondays. I'd called in personal day to my boss, who texted back a winky emoji and handle your business. Harper. The flight was a red-eye blur, first class on points. Courtesy of my bonus. Sipping rail gin while Victor dozed across the aisle. His snores a reluctant symphony. We landed in Denver by 2. Rented a black SUV that screamed unmarked and hit the road for Vale. The Rockies rising like judgmental gods. Snow dusted the peaks. Early for October. Mirroring the frost in my veins. You're quiet, Victor said, breaking the silence as we wound up I-70. Regretting the live roast? Regretting trusting you? I shot back, but softer. The altitude thinned the air. Or maybe the honesty. Last night. It felt good. Cathartic.
But now?
Like I poked a bear with a selfie stick. He chuckled. Eyes on the wheel. Bears hibernate.
Kins.
Your folks? They're cornered wolves. Then, quieter. That audio you played? I have more. Tapes from the deal room. Dad admitting the frame job verbatim. My pulse quickened. Why didn't you use it? Ethics board. Career suicide. He glanced over. Vulnerability cracking through. But for you? Maybe it's time to burn it all.
Ally.
The word tasted foreign. We pulled up to the chalet at dusk, a sprawling A-frame of reclaimed timber and glass. Lights twinkling like false welcome. Their Audi was in the drive. Connecticut plates. No staff, they traveled lean post-scandal. Plan was simple. Confront. Record. Extract confession. Victor hung back by the trilene. Phone linked to mine for backup feed. I crunched up the path alone. Boots sinking in fresh powder. And rang the bell. Chimes echoed. Then footsteps. Mom opened the door. Face a porcelain mask, Botox holding firm, but eyes red-rimmed. Kinsley? What on earth? Earth. I pushed past. Crimson dress absurd against the flannel throws. You mean the ground you buried me in? Dad rose from the leather armchair by the fire. Scotch in hand. Face thunderous. Young lady. After last night? Have you lost your mind?
No.
Just illusions. I pulled out my phone, hit record discreetly, and tossed the velvet box remnants onto the coffee table, earring shards glinting in firelight. These were for you.
Mom.
For family forever. But forever Sakan. Like your investments. Mom sank onto the sofa, hand to throat. We were protecting you. The affair, if it leaked, we'd all go down. Protecting? Laughter barked out. Ugly. You let me rot for 15. I was 24.
Mom.
My life gone for your dirty laundry. Dad slammed his glass down, amber sloshing. And we served time too. Probation's no picnic. We rebuilt. Rebuilt on what? My silence. I paced. Camera capturing the opulence, the bearskin rug, the views of powder bowls that screamed untouchable. The developer you framed? He's suing now, thanks to my leak. And Victor? He's here. Ready to unbury what you buried. Victor's shadow fell across the window, silhouetted. Ominous. Mom gasped. Dad paled. Hail? That snake? He double-crossed us once. Once. Victor's voice boomed as he let himself in. Door ajar for the mic. Try every time.
But today?
I'm flipping for her. He held up his phone. The tape's cued. Played a snippet. Dad's voice. Oily. Planted on the books under Kinsley. Kid's green. She'll fold. Silence. Thick as smoke. Mom's sob broke it. Richard. You promised. Promised what? I whirled on her. That I'd take the fall for your perfect life? The Ponzi was your baby.
Mom.
The lies. The ledgers, all you. She stood, trembling, face twisting, not grief, but fury. You were always the weak link, impulsive, mouthy. We gave you everything, Wharton, the internship. And you couldn't even keep quiet in court. Weak link. The words landed like shrapnel. Victor tensed. Hand on my shoulder, support? Or cue? Elaine. That's perjury territory. Confess. Or I hit send to the DA. Dad lunged for him. But I stepped between. Shoving hard. No more violence. Dad. That's your game. He staggered. Clutching his chest, dramatic. Or real. Mom screamed. Dialing 911. Heart attack. Help.
Panic spiked.
Victor dropped the phone. Rushing to check pulse. He's faking pulse steady. But Dad wheezed. Clutching. Eyes locked on mine. Accusation.
Plea.
Ambulance wailed distant. The recording rolled on. Capturing it all. My shove. His collapse. You did this, Mom hissed. Cradling him. Our daughter, monster. Monster. Echoes of trial whispers. Sirens closed in. Victor pulled me back. We gotta go.
Now.
We bolted into the night. Snow whipping. SUV peeling out as lights flashed below. Heart hammering, not regret, but revelation. Had I pushed too far? Dad's wheeze, real or ruse? Back in Denver. Motel sleaze. Victor paced. Tapes are gold. DL reopen. And me. I whispered. Snow melting in my hair. Assault too.
He stopped.
Cupped my face, tender. Unexpected. Self-defense. Or nothing. You're clean now.
Clean.
The word hung. Phone buzzed. Stream clips viral. Kinsley revenge at 10K. Then Mom, he's stable. But you're dead to us.
Dead.
Fitting. But the twist nod. Dad's eyes in that moment, fear or calculation. My PI texted. Chalet cams hacked. He faked it. Calling medic himself pre-arrival.
Faked.
Of course.
Schemers to the end.
Monday morning in that Vale motel felt like waking from a bender, head pounding, sheets tangled like lies. Victor's arm slung heavy across my waist. We'd crashed together after the escape, adrenaline crashing into something rawer, his lips on mine by the sink, fumbling with zippers, the mirror fogging with gasps that drowned out the siren's echo. Not love, lust laced with leverage. Two survivors clawing heat from the cold. American as a one-night stand in a Super 8. Coffee burned my tongue as I scrolled the storm. Post front page. Heiress exposes parents' Ponzi past in epic loft meltdown. Clips from the stream embedded. My bottle toss looped like a vine from hell. Comments split the mob. Girl boss revenge. Team Kinsley versus entitled brat dragging family, toxic. Polarized. Just as I'd hoped. No heroes. Only shades. Victor stirred. Shirtless and rumpled. That prosecutor's build softer than memory. DA's office called. Want the tapes. Your name stays out. Witness protection vibe. Protection? I snorted, handing him a mug. From what? Mom's passive-aggressive voicemails. From them. He sat up. Serious. Elaine's already lawyering up. Old firm. The sharks who got their deal. They're spinning you as unstable. The shove as assault. The shove. Replay in my mind. Dad's stumble. Theatrical. But on cam, it looked bad, me in crimson. Bottle in one hand, phone in the other, pushing a silver-haired man toward a bearskin. Context be damned in viral court. Fine, I said, pulling on boots. Send the tapes. But I want in deposition. Whatever. Face them. He nodded. No argument. That's when the call came. My boss. Voice tight. Kinsley. Board spooked. Media circus. Take the week, paid. But low profile. Low profile. In New York? Laughable. We flew back red-eye again. Landing at LaGuardia to paparazzi flashbulbs. 5. 10. A scrum yelling, Kinsley. Assault charges? Victor shielded me. Arm around shoulders like a shield. Whispering smile.
Don't speak.
We Ubered to his place in the village. A brownstone walk-up that screamed divorce DA. All bookshelves and bourbon. Inside. He poured a scotch's ironic nod to Dad and pulled up his laptop. Here's the full file. Listen. Dad's voice filled the room. Tinny from the recorder. Kinsley's perfect, eager.
Green.
We'll route the affair payoffs through her dummy corp. If it blows, she takes the heat. Family first. Right? Family first. The gut punch anew. Moms chime in. And the developer? Plant the docs in her email. He'll sue them. Not us. Victor paused it. This plus the chalet feed? Ironclad. Ponzi revival attempt. They funneled parole fines into a new fund last year. Revival? My blood iced. Targeting who? Old marks.
Worse.
Your alumni network. Wharton class of 15 pitched as redemption investments by a reformed Elaine Harper. Reformed. The gall. I'd ghosted my old crew post-prison.
But now?
They were in my Rolodex. My lifeline at the fund. That's why the invite stonewall, I murmured. Scared I'd spill to guests. Victor closed the laptop. Hand on my knee, comfort. Or claim. We end it. Subpoena tomorrow. You testify. Testify. Back in a box. Under oath. Their eyes boring holes. But this time, sword not shield. Yes. The week blurred. Depositions in a stuffy midtown conference room. Lawyers circling like vultures.
Dad.
Pale but composed. Denied everything. Misremembered conversations. Until the tapes played. His bluster crumbling to context.
Mom. Ici?
Lawyered through tears. Kinsley always resented us. The prison. Changed her. Changed me? Try forged me. Victor cross-examined. Surgical. Peeling layers. The affair docs routed through my name. The developer frame via hacked emails traced to their IP. The judge, a no-nonsense Brooklynite named Ruiz, leaned in at one point, eyeing me, MS. Harper, you took no plea, despite the offer?
No.
Your Honor, I said, voice steady. Family loyalty. There's, apparently, was conditional. Ruiz nodded, almost imperceptibly. Noted.
Outside.
Post-session. Protesters waited. Handfuls. Split. Justice for Harpers. Signs from Greenwich holdouts. Countered by Free Kinsley from online allies. Media swarmed. I ducked into a bodega for a hero sandwich. Victor trailing like a shadow. You're handling this, he said over pastrami. Mustard dripping. Better than I ever did you credit for. Credit. The word warmed.
Tentative.
Nights blurred into his brownstone takeout tie. Case files strewn like confetti. Bodies entwining as barriers fell. He talked. Finally, his own betrayal. A mentor who'd tanked his early case for politics. Pushing him to the dark side. You weren't pity.
Kins.
You were. Light in the shit.
Light.
I believed him. Half. But trust's a slow thaw. By Friday, indictments dropped. Conspiracy. Fraud revival.
Perjury.
Dad and Mom arraigned Monday. Bail denied, flight risk. Ruiz ruled. Citing the veil fake out. News helicopters buzzed like hornets, my loft. Now a fortress. Got a doorman upgrade. Housewarming echo. I'd rescheduled the real one for that night. Intimate. Survivors only.
Boss.
Girlfriends. The reporter for the scoop. And Victor. No stream, just candlelight and closure. As quartet remnants played, now a duo. Guitar and violin, I raised a glass in the kitchen. Away from ears. To endings, Victor clinked. Eyes soft. And beginnings? Before I answered. My phone lit, unknown caller. Answered on impulse. Dad's voice. Hoarse from holding cell. Kinsley. Don't do this. The trial. It'll destroy us.
Us.
I laughed.
Soft.
You destroyed us years ago. Elaine's. She's talking plea. Naming you as co-conspirator. Says you knew.
Knew?
The lie landed like lightning.
Mom.
Flipping again, Machiavellian to the marrow. Victor mouthed record. I nodded. App running. Lies.
Dad.
But go on. He wheezed. Real this time? Please. Drop the tapes. We'll recant. Family. Family's dead. I hung up. Pulse racing. Victor pulled me close. That's tampering. Gold. But inside. Fracture. Mom naming me? Controversial chess. Paint me dirty. Dilute their guilt. Readers, viewers, would split. Was I complicit? Or collateral? Party hummed on. Laughter tentative. Boss pulled me aside. Fun standing by you. But optics. Tread light. Optics. Always the American gospel. Midnight. Guests gone. Victor, and I on the balcony. City a jeweled beast below. What now? He murmured. Arms around me. Now? We wait for the twist. Because I felt it coming, the chink in my armor. It hit Tuesday. Leaked email chain. Mom to her lawyer. Kinsley forged the ledgers willingly. Jealous of our success. Use it. Forged willingly? I done it on command. But spin it as motive. Resentful daughter sabotaging parents? Genius poison. Media flipped. Headlines from Revenge Queen to Harper Heiress. Victim or Viper? Protests swelled outside the courthouse. My Insta flooded with traitor DMs. Boss called. Extended leave. Indefinite. Victor raged in his office, prepping counters, but doubt crept, his eyes lingering on me like suspect. You didn't,
Right?
know about the revival. Victor, hurt stabbed. After everything? He backpedaled, but seed planted. Trust's fragile as rice paper. Trial loomed, 2 weeks out. I hold in the loft. Chain-smoking menthols on the fire escape. Bad habit from prison yard. PI called. Got more. Mom's affair too, with a developer. That's why the frame. Double cover. Double. Mom. Not just Dad. The betrayal deepened. Roots rotten. Confronted her in visiting room. Steel table. Plexiglass divide. Her face gone sans makeup. Why name me? Mom. She leaned in. Voice venom. Because you broke us. That stream? Our friends gone. Our life, ash. Your life was ash before. The affairs. The schemes. Her smile.
Cold.
You were complicit.
Kinsley.
Typed every falsified line. On your orders. Prove it. Click. Guards signaled end. Back home. Despair crested. Victor waited. Takeout in hand. We'll fight. But as we ate, his phone buzzed. DA memo. Potential immunity for Elaine if she testifies against you. Against me. The flip, ultimate.
Mom.
Scheming queen. Turning daughter into fall guy redux. I stood. Plate clattering. You believe her? He rose. Hands out.
No.
But optics. Optics. Rage boiled. I grabbed the Margot bottle, refilled prop from the sideboard, hurled it at the wall. Glass exploded. Wine weeping red. Victor ducked. Eyes wide. Kinsley.
Out.
Voice broke. All of you. Out of my head. He left. Door soft close. Alone. I sank. Shards at feet. Revenge? Or recursion? The climax neared. Polarizing as promised, no right, no wrong. Just wreckage. Trial day dawned brutal, November gray bleeding into the federal courthouse's marble halls. Protesters chanting outside like a Greek chorus gone feral. Harper hoax versus Kinsley killer. Signs waving. News vans idling like predators. I slipped in a side door. Victor at my elbow. His suit crisp but eyes shadowed from our standoff. We'd patched fragile, a late-night text. I believe you. My reply, prove it. Now, armistice.
Inside.
The gallery buzzed. Old marks in seersucker. My warden ghosts avoiding eyes. The reporter live tweeting from row 3. Mom and Dad at defense table. Shackled subtle. Faces etched with thespian sorrow. Mom caught my gaze. Mouthed sorry, crocodile. Or crack. Dad stared straight. Jaw set. Ruiz banged gavel. Proceeding sharp. Prosecution opened. Victor's successor. A bulldog named Patel. Laying out the revival scheme with charts. Fund flows from Greenwich to Cayman Shells. Emails signed E. Harper, Redemption Capital. Then the old sins. Ponzi docs. A fair cover via my name. Your Honor, Patel boomed. The defendants not only defrauded millions but weaponized family, sacrificing their daughter to shield personal indiscretions. Indiscretions. Polite for adultery and arson on truth. Defense countered. Silver-tongued shark. Harlan Crow, painting me as puppet master. MS. Kinsley Harper resented her parents' success, manipulated ledgers out of spite. The revenge stream? Calculated smear. Gasps rippled. My hands clenched under the table. Victor's knee nudged mine. Anchor. Then witnesses. The developer. Grizzled and grateful. Testifying to the frame. Docs planted in my server. Traced to Harper IP. But routed through Kinsley's email. Old Mark swept over lost nest eggs. My boss. Reluctant. Vouch my post-parole integrity. She's reformed. Driven. Reformed. The word jury box mantra. Afternoon. The tapes. Played in full. Dad's voice damning. Kinsley takes the heat. Family first. Mom's addendum. And the developer? Frame him hard. Gallery erupted. Ruiz silenced with glare. Crow cross. Coerce statements? Or strategy session MS. Harper attended. Attended. I whispered to Victor. I was in Philly that week, Rotary Club. Victor nodded. Prepped rebuttal. But then the flip. Mom took the stand. Sworn in. Her silk blouse pristine. Voice quaver. I love my daughter. But she knew. Typed the falsies herself. Jealous of our life. Objection sustained, but damage seeped. Jury leaned. Notebooks scribbling. Dad followed. Chest clutch actredix. Kinsley's unstable. Push me in veil. Threw glass at Mr.
Hale.
The prison. It broke her. Broke her. Echoes. Victor crossfired. MS. Harper. The emails, your IP. Not Kinsley's. Hesitation.
She.
Borrowed my laptop. Lies. I hissed. But under breath. Then my turn stand. Sworn. The box-a-coffin. Patel gentle. MS. Harper. Walk us through 2017. Voice steady. I did. Internship. Orders. The courtroom betrayal. They promised stick together. Then testified against me. Crow rose. Shark grin. You forged willingly? Resented their wealth.
No.
Firm. On command. To protect their secrets, the affairs. Both sides.
Gasps.
Mom's head snapped up. Dad flushed. Crow pressed. Proof? I nodded to Victor, who cued the PI's file, hacked chalet cams. Mom's tryst with the developer pre-frame. Whispers of, we'll pin it on Richard's girl. Chaos, objections flying. Ruiz adjourning for review. Gallery a hornet's nest. Outside. Chants swelled. Recess in witness lounge. Victor hugged me fierce. You slayed. Slayed? Bitter laugh. Or bade. Mom's eyes, she knew I knew. He pulled back. Searching. Twist.
Worse.
The developer? He was her lover. Frame was payback on Dad, and me as scapegoat. Double betrayal.
Mom.
Not victim, vortex. Court reconvened. Ruiz admitted the file. Juries sequestered overnight. Verdicts loomed. That night. Village Brownstone Victor's. Sanctuary. We cooked pasta primavera. His mom's recipe. Garlic scent warding evil. Over wine. He proposed. Casual. After this?
Us.
Real.
Us.
Tempting. But phone buzzed. Mom's lawyer. Plea offer. Elaine testifies full truth, affair. Frame for reduced sentence. Names no one. Truth or truce. I countered. All or nothing. Dawn brought verdicts. Guilty. All counts. Dad 10 years, Mom 12, conspiracy bump for the flip attempt. Sentencing in weeks. Gallery split cheers.
Sobs.
I stood stoic. Victor's hand in mine. But inside, hollow victory. They'd spun me villain to the end. Some jurors nodded my way sympathetic. Others averted.
Outside.
Media frenzy. I faced one camera. Mic'd. Justice isn't revenge. It's reckoning. Polarizing soundbite. Half hailed. Half hated. Weeks blurred. Sentencing circus. Mom's weepy allocution. I failed my daughter. Dad's stoic nod. Probation for me? Lifted full. Ruiz's gift. You've paid enough. Yes. Harper. Post-prison life ramped. Fun promotion. Book deal whispers from the reporter. Victor and I, steady. Scars and all, dinners in, weekends in the Hamptons. His brownstone merging with my loft. But the twist lingered. Gnawing. Sentencing night. Alone in Tribeca. I poured the last Margot, real vintage. Smuggled and scrolled old emails. One buried. From Mom.
Pre-arrest.
Kinsley. If it comes, take the fall. We'll make it right. Love always. Make it right. They'd tried. Sporadic deposits to my commissary. Sorry letter post-parole. But the flip? Fear. Or facade. Final hook. PI's coda call. One more file. Mom's journal. Hid it in the chalet safe. Entries. Kinsley strong. She'll survive us. Maybe save us. Save us. The debate eternal. Was betrayal survival? Or selfishness?
Mom.
Schemer to core. Loving in shadows? No absolutes. I burned the journal scan. Ashes in the Hudson at dawn. Victor found me there. Wind whipped. End.
Twist.
I leaned in. They loved me. Wrongly. He kissed my temple. And you? Forgave. Not yet. Smile crooked. But the housewarming? Next one's for all of us. Ghosts included. The city stirred. Unforgiving.
Alive.
Revenge? Reckoning. American as it gets. Messy. Debatable. Enduring. Epilogue hook. 6 months on. Parole board invite arrives. For them. Early release petition. My signature? The line blurs. Right or wrong? You decide.